Okay, guys, so for part 2 of our objective, and one of the reasons why the video is so important is because class is so short, we may not get to it, is we're going to do a metaphor brainstorm. And for that metaphor brainstorm, right, I can go ahead and I can look back at the example city that we have. Is there a copy of it? Okay, so I can see like there are a lot of metaphors in here that represent the positive and the negative, like the Statue of Liberty, the helicopter. I'm just kind of getting ideas. And what you want to do for your metaphor brainstorm, and you may want to do this on a second page, is you are going to do a thinking map, but in the middle, I want you to think about your thesis, right? Now, you may not want to rewrite the whole thing because it's like, ugh. So go ahead and write your thesis. Just write thesis in the middle, right? And that is everything that you wrote about up here, right? So all of this is your thesis, right? But now you're going to describe it in a thinking map. And what an artist does is they use imagery to kind of show what they're saying. They don't really use words, but you need to have a thesis behind it. But now we're going to create the code. So what can I do to show kind of like the negative side, right? And the positive side. So I'm feeling kind of like to be real about real America. I'm feeling kind of like mostly negative these days, just to be honest. But I know I need to show hope with this piece. So you don't have to color yours, but I just want you to think, I mean, maybe you want to color it afterwards, but I want you to think about the circle map. If you're talking about the negative and the positive, I want you to think about it in two different ways. I want you to think about like positive and negative imagery. And I'm going to tell you guys right now that the best art pieces really do have like negative / truth, because, you know, life is hard. And they have like hope at the end. So the best kind of art pieces have like both sides of the coin, both sides of the story. So you want to think about, okay, what are those metaphors going to be? So, like when I say metaphor, right, and this is why it's so important that we have a video, because this whole idea is so complex. When I say metaphor in art, I'm talking about a visual metaphor. I'm talking about a symbol, right? So the video or the art piece to the left has a lot of symbols, right? So if I look at Donna's art piece, right, some of the negative symbols that she has, like we can just write down some of what she said in, like we can write down some of what she said in blue, right? Her metaphors, just to get some ideas. Okay, so what does Donna have? I'm going to just zoom in and just think about Donna for a second. So Donna, that's the artist on the left, she has money, tears, chains, dark clouds, right? Let's see. Obviously, like the marijuana, like maybe I shouldn't even say that out loud. The drugs, right? The drug problem, symbolizing addiction, right? So she has all this truth. And then, you know, the casino, right? So I'm just kind of like thinking, okay, well, what does Donna have? Well, that's what Donna has. What do I want to have? So you can like make a little thing for my metaphors. What are you going to have? So I'm looking back. So I'm thinking like, I want to say something about the virus. So mask, the mask of the virus. Maybe I want to have like the corona virus, like in the sky. I don't know. I mean, this is a brainstorm, right? Don't hold yourself back. I'm thinking about the protests. Maybe I want to draw the protests in the sky. I'm just like, you know, brainstorming. Let's see, some of the negativity. So Trump, dump Trump. Maybe I want to dump Trump's sign. Because there's really no limit. But, you know, this idea of make America whatever again. So I'm thinking a lot about signs. So don't get stuck in the sign trap, because you also want to think about things. I really like what Donna did with these like dead trees, right? Maybe I can have broken glass, fires. I'm not sure. Maybe helicopters. I don't know. Helicopters. Right. And then I like this idea of like banks, money, obsession, and this idea of kind of like, you know, houses that are struggling. So maybe closed businesses, just trying to really show what's happening. Damaged houses, maybe houses are damaged houses, and I'm really showing reality. Maybe I'll have people struggling on the streets, maybe cracks in the sidewalk, cracks in buildings. So those are some ideas. So you're like brainstorming your metaphors. As far as hope, right? I want to like kind of have light coming through the clouds. Maybe I want to have like a splash of color. I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe, you know, like peace, something that shows togetherness, right? So those are just some ideas, right, about what I can go ahead and put. And then for the outside, your frame of reference question, because I want you to start to do a draft over the weekend, is what should you practice drawing? And what I want you to do is I want you to look on Google, and I want you to start to practice drawing some of these metaphors, right? And I want you to make a list, because if you're going to draw these metaphors in a city, right, you have to be able to draw them on their own. So over the weekend, we want to do a lot of practice drawings that end up, what is the point? We want to do practice drawings that help you to show your thesis, right? So what is it exactly that you want to show, okay? So part 1 is your thesis. That's what you should have in your journal. And part 2 is this thinking map. And it's, once again, it's a circle map. And on the outside, you're going to write your next steps. Like, what are you going to draw over the weekend? What do you need to practice drawing right away? What is the most urgent thing? That is your frame of reference question. Like, what should you practice drawing right away? And that's what you're thinking about throughout the weekend. Please post this page that I just did, this example page on the right. Please post it to Seesaw ASAP, so we know that everyone's kind of going in the right direction. Okay, thanks guys for watching.